Sitrin Celebrity Classic Wheelchair Basketball Game.
It'll be tonight at Utica College in the Clark Athletic Center, and it's at 6:30 tonight.
6:30 p.m.
And you have a whole list of people.
We do, and actually some last-minute additions, which I got to mention. So
Okay.
headlining the event, of course, Syracuse men's basketball stars John Gillen, Tyler Roberson, and DeJuan Coleman have just been added to the bill.
Wow.
So that's pretty exciting, as
That
well as
is cool.
New York State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli coming in from Albany.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you serious?
We're pretty
That's
excited about
awesome.
that.
That is really
Pretty
cool.
excited.
Yeah.
One slight change, I have to admit, is Andrew White, who was called down to North Carolina to get in front of an NBA scout. Of course, we can't complain about that. We'll wish him the best. He will not be in attendance, but 3 Syracuse guys, our Comptroller, yourself, a cast
I'm
of others.
excited about it. I missed. We missed last year. We were in New York City. Stuck. You remember that?
I
trip?
do remember
That was
that.
last year at this time. By the way, it was last year at this time that MMA was announced as legal in New York State. So yeah, big names. And we were with the senator who didn't make it back either. Senator Griffo will be there.
Senator Griffo, Tony Pacenti.
I can go down a list here if you like. I'm sure you can do it off the top of your head. But Palmieri, Brindisi, these last names will ring bells for you. Maciel, Carbone, Alex Carbone. And then there'll be TV and radio people there. Gary Heenan from Utica College. We'll have a bunch here from the radio stations here. And then you have some big sponsors, too.
We do. We got to thank Fuss Charles Chambers, LLC, MetLife, and the Fountainhead Group for sure. BNY Mellon. For years, these folks and these organizations have tremendously helped the Sitrin Stars program. And again, the idea is to raise awareness of athletes of all abilities and also raise dollars to buy that much-needed specialized sporting equipment.
Let's talk about the difficulty. When you see these all-stars, your Sitrin all-stars, go out there and they're playing in a wheelchair, they just make it seem so easy. Then if you've ever had a chance to sit down in a wheelchair and try to play basketball, you lose that leverage you have. Unless you have great arm strength.
It's a whole different perspective.
It's a different deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're using your arms for everyday life, basically, to move, to play, to recreate, to live. And these athletes, as you mentioned, they're going to show off their abilities tonight. And basketball is just one opportunity in sport and in life. Of course, we offer a variety of sports. So it's curling, training for the Boilermaker, kayaking, canoeing, you name it. The idea is to get people, I call it, off the sidelines, get into the game, live life to its fullest.
Yeah.
Do you have to dribble?
Well, technically, you're supposed to dribble. You can't push the wheels 3 times consecutively without dribbling. If you do, that's a travel.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be
Interesting.
traveling tonight, just for the record.
He'll be Russian. So I got to say, though, you mentioned curling. Of course, Jimmy Joseph represents Team USA in the Paralympics all the time. And you talk about, having to live everyday life with your, but these guys, they take, like Jimmy, he takes the challenge and he's really overcome it. I see him all the time. I go run by his house all the time. He's mowing the lawn. He's doing normal everyday things, and it's just great to see. It's inspiring, and people like Jimmy are really inspiring everybody that has that condition.
Absolutely. I'm proud of these guys and these women as well. Jimmy's one Paralympian. Tammy Delano from Rome is now at Colorado Springs. She's on Team USA shooting. Herman Garrick travels the world. He's in Boston this weekend for the Boston Marathon. That's
he's
tremendous.
awesome. He's like winning marathons.
He is. He truly is.
Yeah.
And these guys, too, are people who, in some cases, were not born with a birth defect. They are someone, there was an accident or something happened. Well, I'll ask, is it more of a challenge? I think I've asked you this before.
Yeah, we'll hear from those athletes that have come through rehab, perhaps at Sitrin or elsewhere, and they tell us, certainly there's that depression phase. There's what do I do next in life? Where am I? And yes, they have verbalized to us, it was extremely difficult to recognize what I can now do in life compared to that athlete who maybe was born with a congenital birth defect or some type of anomaly. That's all they've ever known.
Yeah.
And not to put that in the corner. Certainly we all have limitations, but it's really rewarding to work with all athletes of all abilities and just helping them overcome that adversity.
Well, Jimmy talks about how he would never, without his injury, it was a garbage truck that he was working and a car plowed into him. Without that injury, he would not be doing any of what he's doing today.
That's exactly right. He says it all the time. We talk to local students at the high school level and college level, and he's so proud of where he is, obviously, but also he would not be where he is. And he makes that very clear. He would not be where he is if he didn't have that terrible accident, and we're proud to help him with that.
Lucky that he survived that accident. I do want to say that have you had an influx over the last decade of people coming back from the military and injured And do you guys offer those services? Because, boy, these wars, the longest wars we've ever had in the history of the country.
Absolutely, Bill. We're very proud to have a military rehab program at Sitrin. Jackie Wormuth oversees that. She's an occupational therapist. And yes, we've had athletes that have had return from conflict with disability or impairments. We have those that have those invisible disabilities. And I'm referring to, the cognitive or the
PTSD,
stress-related PTSDs. Right. Exactly right. And just getting them, again, back into civilization, back into world activity, back to life, friends, family, just community. And boy, it's been great.
Did you make news this morning in announcing the change in the lineup? Because, explain this if you could.
Yeah, so basically we just learned this last evening that New York State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli is coming in from Albany. He's never been to this event. Very excited. He's has great friendship with our Mayor Palmieri, and of course Mayor Palmieri will be in attendance, and he said, I'd love to come down and be involved as well. Additionally, we learned from Syracuse Athletics yesterday that Andrew White was called off to North Carolina to work with some scouts for the NBA, and of course that's his goal, that's his dream.
Sure.
We're happy for him. And as a result, we now have DeJuan Coleman and Tyler Roberson filling in.
Does that mean, are you allowed to get them when they're not advancing to the pros? You know what I mean?
We can only work with athletes that have no more eligibility, so only senior-level athletes. We can't see anybody that's an underclassman because of the NCAA regulations.
I guess I didn't realize Roberson was on his way.
I thought he was a senior.
He is.
Oh, he is. I guess I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay. And Coleman, of course, from the Syracuse area as well. I thought maybe there was like a hidden headline in there, like
Roberson's going.
Yeah, and I apologize. I didn't realize he was a senior.
Either way, seeing these players is cool. And you get to do the autographs and all the other stuff. I mean,
you got it, Bill. It's all included. Just get in the door, watch a great game, meet some pretty cool people, get an autograph, a photograph, all for $10 for adults and $5 for students. Tickets are available at Sitrin today if you want to drive up. We're at 2050 Tilden Avenue. Of course, you can get them at the door tonight. Doors open at 6. Get there early. We've had sellouts the last few years. Utica College at the Clark Athletic Center.
Nice. Again, 737-2406 for details. That's the number over at Sitrin. $10 tickets, $5 for students, and check it out tonight. Get there. We'll be there. I'm excited about it.